UFC Vegas 42 weigh-in recap show, predictions, and the betting breakdown. Also, happy birthday to the UFC and to yourself. It's also my birthday. Coincidentally, share the birthday of the UFC. Should be a lot of fun. This birthday breakdown. Smash that like button. Let's get at least 120 likes on this full card breakdown. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. You don't want to miss a video here at MMA Experts. Much love to all my supporters, everybody tuning in. And let's talk this card because we got some fights that are definitely exciting that I can't wait to go over for a second time this week. Starting off the night, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Jung. Earlier in the week, pick is Kennedy Nzechukwu. We're going to look at the fighters on the scales. There is Jung. Looks pretty solid as normal. Same with his opponent, Nzechukwu. Look at the size difference. Taller man is Nzechukwu. This is an interesting fight for Jung. In his last matchup, he had a great performance fighting William Knight, who was the opposite of his size, really much shorter. Before that unfortunate draw to Sam Alvey, but does have some wins in his UFC career. Kennedy Nzechukwu has been the comeback machine as of late. Beat Carlos Ulberg, beat Danilo Marquez. Nzechukwu's a really tricky fight. He's an awkward striker with real knockout power in the hands. Rangy guy, that 83-inch reach, and standing 6'5". He's huge for 205 pounds. Jung is pretty technical with his boxing, and I do have to note that. Decent jab, good wrestling, especially from the clinch. With Nzechukwu, he also fights out of the southpaw stance, which I do think will be advantageous in this matchup, having that range advantage. I expect Nzechukwu to pull off a late stoppage, potentially another comeback. I'm going third round TKO, Kennedy Nzechukwu in this fight. Let's look at the betting odds. Plus 106, minus 112. I like the underdog Nzechukwu here. KO, TKO, Nzechukwu. Plus 260. Nzechukwu round number 3. Plus 1250. If you were on the Jung side, Jung wins by decision, I do think is most likely. That's plus 180. But I got Nzechukwu pulling off the upset in this fight, which is a good way to start the night off. Fun light heavyweight fight. Marc Diakiese, Rafael Alves. Good fight. I like Diakiese in this fight. He's the pick earlier on in the week. Alves looking incredible on the scales, jacked. Diakiese looking good as always. See the slight size advantage in height for Marc Diakiese here. He's in for a fight against Alves. You know, with Rafael Alves, I mean, decent Muay Thai style, solid pressure, okay grappling base too. Diakiese on the opposite side, definitely the better technical striker. He's rangier. He fights better from distance. The scale doesn't change the pick here. I have Marc Diakiese for a win by decision. I do expect his technical kickboxing and athleticism advantage to lead the way in this matchup for him to win this one. Odds-wise, minus 190, plus 175. I like that minus 190 tag for Diakiese. Diakiese wins by decision, plus 140. That's the prop I'm liking here. Over 1.5 lock. Over 2.5 high likely. Goes the distance, minus 150, very high likely. I do expect it to go the full 3, and I have Marc Diakiese. Good fight. Cortney Casey versus Liana Jojua. Something we have to note, weight miss by Jojua. Not a great look, missing weight. She's taking on Cortney Casey. We have Casey. She's the pick earlier in the week. We'll look at these ladies on the scales. There's Jojua. There's Casey. Size advantage for Casey. I do believe she's the better technical kickboxer. Should be strong enough to fend off any potential grappling attacks that you see Jojua throw at her. Casey has let us down in the past, but she does have a win over Angela Hill. She's been in there with high-level girls throughout. Jojua is a tricky Thai style of striker, a bit flat-footed, definitely has a disadvantage in the speed department, but she is 26, so constant improvement is expected. I'll pick Cortney Casey to win a decision here. I do expect that to be the outcome. Cortney Casey, minus 230, plus 223 for Jojua. I like Casey. High likelihood here. Fight goes the distance, minus 175, I think is super likely. Casey wins by decision. Minus 105, plus 110, best value. Not a great bet, but you're still getting plus money. I like Courtney Casey wins by a decision or fight goes the distance. Decent bets. And I think it's the Courtney Casey show here. She gets it done over Jojua and doesn't have a negative record, because if she loses, she'll be 9-10. I think she'll go to 10-9 with this one. The best 9-9 fighter out there, though. She's a lot better than her record shows. Next one, Sean Woodson, Collin, Anglin. I'm pumped for this fight because I really feel like Sean Woodson's a fun prospect. I have him winning here. He's got a huge size advantage over Anglin. Look at Anglin on the scale. There's Woodson. And then look at the face-off. You see the size difference is real between these two fighters. Huge height advantage for Sean Woodson. Technical boxing skill set advantage. I expect him to pick Anglin apart. I will say, Collin Anglin's going to be tricky when he gets in close. He's strong in the clinch, good knees up the center, but that size differential is going to be really hard to overcome from range. The boxing skill of Woodson will be on display in the clinch. He's got leverage advantages, and I feel like he'll win this fight. I could see a late TKO for Sean Woodson in the third round or a decision here. I like Sean Woodson for the W. Let's see the odds. Minus 309, plus 280. Woodson, definitely more of a parlay addition because the straight bet's not all that valuable. Woodson wins a decision, plus 110. TKO, plus 300. Let's see. Woodson, TKO, round number 3, plus 1250. That's interesting. Maybe a little Hail Mary play on that, as well as the decision prop. I like Sean Woodson to win the bout for certain here over Collin Anglin. Fun prospect fight. The next one, Cynthia Calvillo and Andrea Lee. Earlier in the week, we had the dog, Andrea KGB Lee. Looking at the face-off, we have to note something. They are about the same height and size. And that concerns me because I feel like Cynthia Calvillo's wrestling may be on display here. I don't love changing picks, but looking at how they look on the scales, looking at the size, I got to slightly side the way of Calvillo. I don't want to do it, but I feel like I have to here. Let's check out the odds. Calvillo, minus 126. Lee, plus 122. It's a pick'ems fight really here. Very competitive. I expect fight goes the distance. That would be the lock, minus 240. Lee wins by a decision, or excuse me, Calvillo wins by a decision, plus 140. Maybe you play that, plus 140. Calvillo wins by a decision. I have her for the W here, and I do think she gets it done by a decision over Andrea Lee, potentially split decision. Very, very close matchup between these ladies. The next fight of the night, the featured prelim, Thiago Moisés, Joel Alvarez. I'm excited to see what happens between these two. Earlier in the week, the picks the dog Alvarez. On the scale, he does miss weight. We have to talk about that. Not by much, but still by 1.5 pounds. There's Alvarez. There's Moisés. There's the size difference. I have Alvarez. I think the kicking game is solid. The submissions are tricky. Overall, though, Moisés will be tricky to deal with. But the physical attributes of Alvarez are so much to like here. I'll pick Joel Alvarez, leaning win by decision now. I think submission a lot less likely. More of a Hail Mary prop for that one. Looking at the odds, Alvarez plus 220. Moisés minus 240. Let's see, submission for Alvarez. Plus 800, Alvarez submission. Alvarez decision, plus 500. But I think just money line play, plus 220 would be the dog play on Joel Alvarez. I'll pick him by a split decision. It's a competitive matchup. I could see it going the way of Moisés as well. But I like the dog, Joel, here. Now, main card time. If you guys haven't, smash the hell out of that like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel and turn those post notifications on. Let's talk about it. Song Yadong, Julio Arce. Earlier in the week, picked the dog, Arce. Looking at them on the scales, Arce in very good shape, as is Yadong. There's the face-off. About relatively even size, though Yadong a little bit thicker as far as musculature goes. I think the technical boxing skills, kickboxing skills rather, of Julio Arce lead the dance here. Yadong definitely more explosive, but I don't think he's going to knock out Julio. Split decision loss to Julio Arce against Hakeem Dawodu. That carries some weight. Dawodu's a tough prospect, tough contender really at 145. I think Arce can do well at bantamweight. I think he's going to win a competitive decision over Song Yadong here. I'll pick Julio Arce for the win. Underdog. Plus 122, minus 129. It's a competitive fight. I do think we're looking at 3 rounds of technical work here. Arce wins the decision, plus 300. Fight goes the distance, minus 175. I think that's possible too. I think the goes the distance, high likelihood. Arce would be a solid bet if you're looking to get some nice plus money at that plus 300 tag. Julio Arce for the win by a decision, underdog over Song Yadong. Very fun fight in the bantamweight division. Excited to see how Arce does in his sophomore appearance in the bantamweight division. Next one, Miguel Baeza, Khaos Williams. Earlier in the week, to pick Miguel Baeza. We'll look at the fighters on the scales. There's Khaos looking in very good shape. There's Baeza following suit, very good shape. Little bit of a height advantage for Miguel Baeza here. I do think he's definitely the technically better striker. He's got a disadvantage of the reach by about 2.5 inches, but he is taller by 2 inches. The kicks, expect them to be on display. Expect low kicks, though. You got to be cautious of the power that Khaos Williams brings back to you. I feel like Baeza, fighting smart, fighting technical, wins a decision, controls range decently, closes distance when needed, and I do think he'll beat the explosive prospect with real knockout power, Khaos Williams. The odds for this fight, minus 135, plus 128. I like that minus 135 Miguel Baeza tag here. Let's see. Baeza wins by decision. Baeza decision. Let's find it. Plus 250. Best value. I like Miguel Baeza for the win. I do think he gets it done by a decision. If you're on the Khaos Williams side, I could see, the knockout prop that's plus 250. But I think more likelihood is Baeza beating him. Of course, Baeza has been hurt in a couple fights, but he's shown resiliency and he comes back from adversity. Even though he lost to Ponzinibbio in the last one, he had a good performance. And I do think he beats Khaos Williams in this spot here. Fun fight. Now, the featured bout of the night, Felicia Spencer, Leah Letson. Not a fight anybody's jumping at the bit to see. They're not begging to see these girls go at it. I picked Felicia Spencer. It's the pick earlier in the week. It's still the pick after looking at them on the scales. Both girls there, about the same size, similar frames. Both carry some thickness to them. I feel like Felicia should be able to get the fight to the floor and should be able to get a submission in the second round. Letson, okay boxing, does have, all right game. I mean, she does fight out of the southpaw stance, solid straight punches, decently strong in the clinch, but long layoff. Look at that. Almost 3 years. Felicia Spencer has fought top-line girls in the UFC, the best the featherweight division has to offer. I mean, you look at her losses, Cyborg, Nunes, and Dumont. Top-level girls at 145. I have Felicia Spencer, submission, round number 2. I think she's going to beat Leah Letson here and put on a decent display. I think she has a high likelihood to come through. Minus 286, plus 260. Of course, it'd be a little risky betting just because it's women's MMA, but I do think high likelihood Felicia Spencer gets the win. Spencer by decision, plus 115. Spencer by submission, plus 330. I like Felicia Spencer. Also inside the distance, plus 205. Probably a best route just to cover all ends. So Felicia Spencer, submission, but inside the distance, plus 205 is a solid bet here. I do think she wins. Could also see it going all 3. More of a parlay addition maybe with Felicia. I do think she gets it done over Leah Letson, though. The co-main event. Ben Rothwell, Marcos Rogério de Lima. Earlier in the week, the pick is Rothwell. There's the fighters on the scales. De Lima looks huge on the scales. Thick boy. Rothwell, big as always. There's the face-off. Both big men. Size advantage for Rothwell by just a smidge here. But both guys weighing in the upper echelons of heavyweight. 259 for De Lima. 265 for Rothwell. I like the chances of Ben Rothwell. I think his awkward striking should lead the dance on the feet. Clinching up, he should be strong, and if he gets top position, he'll definitely have advantages over De Lima. I mean, you can't sleep on the submission skill set of Rothwell. De Lima's a tricky Thai style of striker, does have some power in his hooks, gets a little wild at times. More so will look towards a grappling approach against some fighters, though. He's not going to have that ability against Ben Rothwell. I think Big Ben, good forward pressure, gets it done. Win by decision, could see a late stoppage as well, but I like Ben Rothwell for sure for the W. Minus 155, plus 150. I like the minus 155 for Big Ben Rothwell. Let's see here. Rothwell wins by decision, plus 380. Rothwell inside the distance, plus 163. I could see him getting it done, but I could also see it going the distance. I like Rothwell at minus 155 straight. I also think he's a decent parlay addition here. I do think high likelihood of over 1.5 as well at minus 145. Big Ben for the win, and I'm also liking that over 1.5 minus 145 tag a lot for the prop on this fight. Big Ben gets it done. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't, smash that like button and subscribe. If you're new, turn on those post notifications too. And let's talk about it. It's Max Blessed Holloway, Yair Rodriguez. Of course, the pick is Max Holloway here. It's a no-brainer. He should run through Yair. It doesn't matter how they look on the scales. Yair does look fantastic. Max looks good too. There's the face off there. Both guys in very good shape, lean and ready to go. I'm excited for this fight. I think that Max should slowly break down Yair Rodriguez with crisp boxing. Of course, Yair has power and explosive strikes. I mean, his kicks are off the charts good. He has awkward technique. I mean, he landed that weird back elbow that knocked out Korean Zombie. Of course, he has a chance to land that devastating strike. But Max Holloway, iron-chinned, it would take a head kick to the jaw and some crazy flash knockout to really put this man down. I don't think it happens here. I expect him to slowly pick apart Yair Rodriguez. Great combination punching, great forward pressure, low kicks, tiring Yair out. Stoppage round number 3 or 4 here. I could see it in the corner as well. I think a lot of damage will be done to Yair after that third round. You'll be seeing evidence of that damage on his face. The first round's going to be more competitive, but 2, 3, big difference maker. 4, 5, huge difference maker. I'd be shocked to see Yair get a W here. I could see this fight going the full 5 with just a beatdown from Max Holloway, but I do think we'll see a TKO stoppage at some point, probably standing and or throwing in the towel or corner stoppage or even doctor stoppage. Minus 660, plus 570. Max Holloway is a huge favorite. Over 2.5, minus 200, high likelihood. Max Holloway wins by KO, TKO, plus 150. I like that tag a lot there. I like Max Holloway, KO, TKO, plus 150. That would be the prop. I do think over 2.5 very likely as well, minus 200. Max Holloway more of a volume guy. Expect that volume to be on display in this win. And he'll be fighting Volkanovski for the title next. Maybe a McGregor super fight. The options are endless for Max Blessed Holloway after this one. And I cannot wait to see what they end up doing, because I know he teased at some potential options. Max Holloway for the win over Yair Rodriguez. Those are the full card predictions, but we are going to talk parlays. Let's see what we can do here. Of course, Max Blessed Holloway will be on the parlay, but the favorite status is just super wide. Let's say we go Max Holloway, we parlay that up with Marc Diakiese early, and we also potentially play with Felicia Spencer, plus 127 for that one. If you're not on the Felicia Spencer side, I would understand that for sure. Ben Rothwell, plus 174 for those. If you want Spencer in it too, maybe you're going a little wild with it. You add Arce, plus 683 if you bring a dog in, but maybe you want to keep it a little more conservative. You go Rothwell, Holloway, and Arce, plus 293. Probably a safer option than playing all these guys. But if you want to go nuts, Sean Woodson, I think, is another good parlay addition you can do. Woodson, Arce, Woodson with Holloway could also work. Let me clean it up and let's see what the odds would be looking at for that. Minus 202 for Woodson and Holloway. And let's say you added in Big Ben, plus 140. Say you added in Marc Diakiese, plus 124. Some decent parlays to be made. Recommending 2 or 3 fighter parlays max. If you want to go nuts, we'll do a Hail Mary just for fun here, but by no means do I recommend playing this one. But if you want to Hail Mary it up, there's always that option. Plus 540. Let's see if we added in Nzechukwu, plus 1,200. Huge. This is not recommended. This is something you'll throw a couple of dollars at. More just for fun here. Lottery ticket play. Excited for this card. Some great potential bets to make. I hope you guys enjoyed the weigh-in recap show. Much love to everybody tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this birthday edition of the weigh-in recap show for my own birthday and the UFC's. Much love to all my supporters. Subscribe if you guys are new and turn those post notifications on. Don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you all so much. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace, guys.